Yes. So Hussein, shall we start?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So you installed Python in your system?
Yes, I have Python and PyCharm.
Okay. Okay. So we will start with the basic Python first. Because in our data science, we are not going to use PyCharm. We are going to use Anaconda. Is an another IDE.
Okay.
Okay.
So, any reason Anaconda is better than the PyCharm?
Yeah, actually, PyCharm is mainly used for development. For example, web application, mobile application, those
Uh,
kind of development, PyCharm is good. When it comes to Anaconda,
okay.
Anaconda will comes with Jupyter Notebook, Spider, all those IDEs, which mainly developed for data analytics, data visualization perspective.
Okay.
So even nowadays, recently 6 months before Anaconda and your PyCharm was get integrated actually. So even in PyCharm also we can able to go ahead with this Jupyter Notebook everything, but it's not free of cost. It we need to pay something. So the companies who are into development as well as in data analytics field, they may just get this PyCharm Enterprise Edition and they use it to go ahead. But this Anaconda, which will comes with open source, and Anaconda
Okay.
is the one and only thing which is integrated with PyCharm. So for that perspective, we are simply going ahead with Anaconda because companies
Yeah.
in this data analytics field they used to come ahead with the Jupyter Notebook only. So we just discussed about what are the framework, why we use Python, all those stuff. So I'll start with IDEs today. So Python IDE, that's nothing but integrated development environment. That's what IDE is. So for this IDE, we are having Python IDLE, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, Visual Studio, PyCharm, all those are some IDEs. It's nothing but a software which is used to develop some code. That's what our IDE is. So in Python, this Python IDLE, which is developed by Python organization itself, and we can able to download this from www.python.org. Now the latest version is 8.2 beta 2. It's not stable one. I tried 8.2 but it's not working fine for me, so I just going ahead with the 3.7, sorry, 3.8. I'm just going ahead with the 3.7 itself. So the more than 3, like 3x is better than 2 point, because 2 point is not get automated. For example, when we are installing some framework, 3 point will it will automatically get all the dependencies and it will make our work easier. But 2 point we need to go and found all the dependencies. So going ahead with the 3 point will,
So,
yeah.
I'm sorry. So, this version you're talking about is for Python, not PyCharm, right?
No, Python.
Python.
Even
Correct.
in
Correct.
PyCharm itself, we have to go ahead with the 3 point or 2 point like that. Hope you are downloading 3 point.
Yeah, I downloaded 3.73, something like that, if
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
wrong.
fine. No issues. Okay. So when it comes to another Jupyter notebook, whenever we are getting into data analytics part, we are going ahead with the Jupyter notebook. The reason is it will looks like an XML format and a notebook. So referring and then redirecting with some other web page will be very easier. And Spider, it's also on another IDE, looks like another IDE. Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code, which I am using. We are not using PyCharm because we are mainly focusing on Microsoft Azure. So going ahead with Visual Studio is always make our stuff easier. So we are just going ahead with the Visual Studio Code. I used Visual Studio mainly for development perspective. I use Jupyter Notebook for this data analytics machine learning perspective. Even I use Visual Studio for machine learning when I am planning to integrate. my application and my machine learning. Depends. So the next thing is compiler versus interpreter. That's nothing but, do you know what is compiler and interpreter?
Interpreter basically is like a translation of code, and compiler will be converting into binary files.
Exactly. Compiler is something which our source level language, which will convert into machine level language and then execute. So first it will give all the errors. We need to fix these errors and then we need to go ahead with that output. But interpreter is something, it won't convert our source code into machine level language. It starts to execute directly. So it will run line by line. It will first execute the first line, then it will go to second line, then it will go to third line, then it will go to fourth line, like this. When it found error at fifth line, it will throw the error. It won't execute the sixth line. So which line is having error? We can easily found out that part. So that's what interpreter is. Our Python is an interpreter. So do you install this Python ideally? Then we need to go ahead with this execution types. We have actually three kind of execution types in Python ideally: interactive shell, interactive mode, and script mode. So in other IDEs, for example, this PyCharm or Visual Studio, whatever itself, if you are planning to run something in this terminal, like for example, I'm just giving Python and it's just giving, so I'm just giving like 2 plus 4. So we have only one terminal, else we will create one file, and in this file we will be just handling everything. That's it. This method, which is known as interactive mode. But when we are using Python ideally, which is downloaded from python.org, we used to get one folder in our system like this here. Yeah, here. So ideally, this command line, manuals, module documents, all those things we will be having here. So when I am clicking on this, like this one, I'm getting something which is exactly looks like a command prompt. By using this, we can't able to develop anything. We can able to test something. So we will be simply going ahead with this command line interface. One second, please. So why we are not going ahead with this command line interfaces? It's only for testing purpose. Like for example, 2 plus 3, it will give 5. That's it. We can't able to develop anything. And once we closed, we can't able to retrieve these things. So the other thing is, in this folder, this ideally, this which is exactly looks like command prompt, but it's in a GUI mode. Okay. So here I'm just giving print something. So it will give the result. That's it. So apart from we have a file, new file. So here we are just typing something, and to seeing the output, we are just redirecting to this interactive shell. So this interactive shell and interactive mode both are only used for seeing the output and for testing something. Apart from, we can't able to develop anything. Even in this PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, whatever itself, whatever here we are typing and we are executing, that we used to see in the terminal. That terminal window, which is known as interactive shell or interactive mode. And then script mode, that's nothing but when we are opening a file, new file, and we are just creating something like this, which is known as script mode. So this all execution types where we are executing the code, which is a very, very important thing. For example, if you are executing in interactive shell or interactive mode, then you are not developing, you are testing some commands or something else. But when you are executing something in a script mode, then you are definitely developing something else. So that's a very, very important thing. So this is what our execution types, all these things. And then to install Python, you can just go ahead with this. And adding Python to environment variable is very, very important. If you are not added instance, no issues. We will be handling that thing when we are covering a framework session. And then we have three kind of programming structure. Our class, which will be happens based on this programming structure. So before getting starts with the data science part, first we need to be very strong in Python. So once you completed the Python, my colleague who's an expert in statistics, I'm a developer in this data science, machine learning, all those things. Another person is there who is an expert in the statistics, who's handling the statistics model. If you want, I will connect with her, so she will handling only the theory part, where it will be hardly took 5 years to complete the theory part. If you don't require the theory part also, we can skip that. But knowing the statistic theory part is a very, very important thing. And I will also cover, that's not an issue, that's later we will discuss on that. But when it comes to this programming structure, first we will be discussing everything in Python programming. So once you get strong in Python, then we will move to statistic theory part. Once you will get strong in statistic theory part, we will start to combine these two things with the Python. So slowly you will start to understand what is happening here, or how it's happening here. All those things will slowly starts to analyze. So this is how we will be going in our class, like next steps. So we have actually three kind of programming structure. One is, this is only for Python basics, which is not for data science part. So this three kind of programming structure, that's nothing but main driver with or without function. So this main driver with or without function, that's nothing but without developing some function, you are just handling only that like print of hello world or 2 plus 3, 5 plus 6, something like this we are handling. That's what main driver without function. When you are starts to organize the code, that will becomes as a main driver with the function. Then we will go ahead with the oops concept. Then we will go ahead with the importing some framework. This all the programming structures which we will be handling in our class. So it's simple overview. Do you have any doubt on this?
No, and I think even I think Python and statistics, because I have a bachelor's degree in statistics also, so it will
Oh,
be easy
great,
for me to,
great.
yeah, to learn much faster. But
Okay,
it's been a while, so I'm familiar with scatter diagram, like the correlation and stuff,
okay.
histogram, Pareto charts, all those things, moving average, all those things,
Super,
trends
great.
analysis. Yeah. The only problem I have is probability.
Okay.
So that's where I will be needing a little bit more focus.
Okay. Then probability we will go ahead with the more focused one. No issues.
Sure.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, I'm very excited with your program. I mean, that's very solid and thorough.
sorry.
I'm very happy. I'm very excited with your program. It looks like it's very thorough.
Thank you. So shall we start with this variables?
Sure. Actually, I have some concept about variables. So it's up to you if you want to teach or you want to skip it. Basically, it's
Okay.
a temporary memory and it's used as storage for string, float, boolean. Correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So do
if
you
you're
know
teaching anything besides that, or
like do you know like the rules of variables which is in Python?
what I know, you should not start with a number.
Correct.
It should be underscore or a character. So that
Okay.
much I know. It will store only one value at a time.
Okay.
You don't need to initialize it. It just, you can use it, and one variable can be used for string. Then you can put a float or integer in it. It won't, reject it. It will accept it.
Okay, great. Okay. So you are using a system or mobile phone?
I'm on mobile phone actually right now because I'm driving.
Okay. Then I thought of giving a quiz. Then no issues. Then quiz will see later. That's it. Like variables or something like this. It's a case sensitive, and we are just declaring a variable. And hope you knew about the print statement also, right? Print is an inbuilt
I know
function.
about, yeah, print statement using double quotes for the string, comma, and you can use a variable to print the value of the variable.
Yeah, exactly. And we can able to use triple quotation also like this, where there is one small difference between single, double, and a triple. There is no difference between single and a double. But when it comes to triple quotation like this, we can able to make a multiple lines like this.
So correct me if I'm wrong, the triple quotation, isn't it for making comment?
Actually, triple quotation is not using for making commands. But when
Okay,
in script mode, we are going ahead with, for example, here also we are just making a triple quotation without print statement. So when it comes to without print, it won't print. In Python, we doesn't have a command for multiple lines. We are having a command which is a hashtag which is for single line. So we are
okay,
using this triple quotation for command.
got it, got it. And what else can we use triple quotes for?
For printing a multiple lines without that escape sequence of
Okay,
backslash n like this.
okay, okay. That's interesting. I was okay. So this is something I knew I learned today.
So this is something like for assignment work. If you are free, you can just try this. This is only for printing, like print statement and declaring a variable and printing and deleting the variable and then assigning multiple variables.
Okay. And now, is this going to be sent to me via email so I
Yes,
can do the
yes,
homework?
yes, yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will be
Thank you.
sharing
Thank
to
you so
you.
much.
And I will be sharing you some
Okay.
quiz and exercise for today concepts.
Okay. Super.
So, do you know that input, getting an input?
I know about getting an input, and I know it comes in as a string, but you
Yes,
can, convert into integer or float by putting parentheses and typing in int. So
yes,
it would be like int, then parentheses, input, uh,
correct.
parentheses, double quotes, and put the statement that you want. And of course, you're going to save it. You put a variable before all these things.
Yeah, great, great. So that's it. That's what we are just going to discuss now. So that's great.
Okay.
So do you know the type inbuilt function also, right? So x is equal to 23. So I want to check what kind of data type is it. So we can just go ahead with the type x. So it will give integer.
Correct. To yes, yes,
Yeah.
I know that one also.
Okay, great. Then our next thing is we will be having an operator. So hope you knew about the operator also. Operator is an symbol which is used to do some mathematical operation. That's what our operator is. So we have a different kind of operators in our Python. Arithmetic operators, that's nothing but plus, minus, multiplication, division, modules, all those things. And then I just attached that examples for arithmetic operators. That's nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modules. It's nothing but it will give the remainder value. That's it. So this is for square root, and this double slash, that's nothing but it's known as a floor division. So a equal to 45 and b is equal to like 456, we just given a divided by b, it's give the answer, and a modules b, it will give the remainder value. And when we are just giving a b, it will, it won't round off. Round off in sense, we know, right? 3.6, it will give the answer of 4. When we are using 3.4, it will give 3. But when it comes to this floor division, it simply remove the values after the decimal point. It won't consider anything here. So it will remove the decimal point. That's what our floor division is. So apart from, we are having something like 3.67. I want to round off this. So we can just give round. It's nothing but an inbuilt function. So it will round. So it's now give 4. The same thing, if I am giving 3.4, it will give 3. But when we are applying with a floor division, it won't consider. So for example, um, yeah. So when we are just applying with floor, it will just remove this and it will give only 3. It won't consider after the decimal. That's what our float division is. So this all arithmetic operators, and our Python will do this arithmetic operation based on PEMDAS. First it will execute whatever inside the parenthesis, then exponential, then multiplication, then division, addition, subtraction. So our Python order of operation is PEMDAS. And some examples for this and round of example, and then comparison, less than, greater than, not equal, all those things. Previously we are having some symbol which looks like this, which is nothing but not equal. But nowadays in this latest version we doesn't have this. If we are giving, it will throw an error, so we don't need to bother about this, simply for knowledge perspective. And then assignment operator, which is nothing but it's known as shorthand assignment operator. For example, c equal to a plus b. Instead of this we can go ahead with the c plus equal yeah, a equal to a plus b. Instead of this only we can go ahead with a plus equal to b, like this. Both are equal. It is known as a shorthand assignment operator. And then some examples for this. And then bitwise operator, that's nothing but our and, or, not, all those things. That's also known as our logical operator also. So this logics, that's nothing but and. When both operands are true, it will give true. Any one operand's true, it will give true in or. So apart from this, all the basic and normal operators which is in all the programming languages. Apart from in Python we are having two other operators. One is in, not in, another one is not. About in, not in, we will be discussing in our next concept. In, not in, that's nothing but when you are getting one sequence, and if you want to found either the particular word is in the sequence or not, so it will give the values in boolean like true or false. So that's what our membership operator is. The next one is identity operator. That's nothing but id, that which is no comes as an identity operator. I will explain what is identity operator. So id of a, which is nothing but it will give the memory location of a where it got saved. Id of b, it will give the memory location of b. This a and b which is saved in the different memory location. Okay, so now you want to check either a and b are in the same memory location or it is in different memory location. So a is b, actually a is in the same memory location of b, actually no, so we will get false. So a is not b, it's x. Yes, so we are getting a true. This is what identity operator is. This will be mainly used in the perspective of memory management and garbage collection, when we are mostly focusing on the memory consumption, and we want to handle like shallow copy, deep copy, all those things. We will be morely focused on this. Is not mostly the data scientist peoples, we won't focus on this. But when it comes to testing an application, that automation testing or driver testing, and then developing an application, all those stuffs, we then in those kind of situations we used to focus on this memory consumption, all those things. So this all the operators which is available with the Python, that's nothing but some symbols which is going to perform something. That's what our operator is. So any doubt in this?
No, no, that's okay. I just wanted to confirm on the Boolean logics. Like, so
Yeah.
it's and or. That's only two combinations that are available, right, in Python, or is there any more?
No, no. We have only this and or. Even we can able to use not also. But mostly we will
Not.
be
Okay.
using and or.
Okay.
When we are going to check the username and password, both are equal, then only we will execute. When we are planning to
Right.
send an OTP, you need to enter either mobile number or email ID.
So, quick question: the not logic,
Yeah.
is it used in combination with and or? Like, can I do like not and not or like that way, or is it not as in
No, no, no.
not equals to? Okay.
we will just to go ahead. No, no, not equals all those things which will be comes in a comparison operator. In this logic,
Uh-huh.
not in sense, when it answer is true, it will give false.
Okay. Negating it. Okay, I
Yes.
got it.
Okay. So our next concept is we will start with our data types actually. So when you already knew about the data types, simply I will give some quick overview. So we have actually, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the basic ones, like the float, integer,
okay.
string, boolean. But the double is a little bit confusing sometimes to me. So maybe if you are going over that, I'll really
Yeah,
appreciate.
okay. Then we'll go ahead, no issues. So we are having an actually six kind of data types with the Python. Number, string, list, tuple, dictionary, and a set. When it comes to number, it will indicates either it's an integer, float, or boolean, or logic, sorry, boolean, or complex, or it's an float, whatever itself, it will be considered as a number data type. So unlike C++, we have around, I think, more than 10 data types, but in Python, we are just compressing everything. So when it comes to this a equal to 1452, that's nothing but an integer, and then 0 point. When it comes to decimal, which will be considered as a float, and we have something like complex. Complex, that's nothing but one is real, another one is imaginary. We use it to apply this things in algebra. So that complex number data types, and then boolean, that's nothing but true or false. That's it. So this all be considered as a number data type. And then string. String in sense, that's nothing but a group of characters which comes in our quotation. That's all, everything will be considered as a string. Simply string, that's nothing but a group of characters. So it won't bother either we are giving an white space or we are giving a special character, whatever itself, it won't bother. It will simply consider as our string data type. So you know that slicing indexing.
I have some idea. Basically, you're cutting in half the data, let's say, and you're sorting it through something like that.
Yeah, actually,
Indexing is like that. Yeah.
yeah, actually, this indexing and slicing is a very, very important concept for all the peoples. The reason is when we are having lakhs of data sets, probably you want to get only from 200 to 300 data set, like you want to cut it and fetch the particular data set of amount. We will be applying this indexing and slicing. And even sometimes if you want to check something either from this 100 to 200, this fruit is available or not, you want to categorize and you want to test something like this. So in those kind of situations also we will be going ahead with this indexing and slicing. Simply indexing, that's nothing but which is used to pointing out something and we are just going to get it, the thing. And the next thing is slicing, that's nothing but which is used to cut out the particular stuff. That's what our slicing is. So when I'm just creating one string like hello world, I want to check the total length of the s. So len of s, it will give the total length. So we are having an 11 characters totally. So s 0, always Python starts with 0, so I'm just giving a 0. So it will get the first index position, that's nothing but h. When I am giving 5, it will use to give uh, empty space like this. I think Hussein, the meeting will be closed and we need to open it again because in the first 5 minutes Satvik also connected now, so I am having only that free version of Zoom. So
Okay.
we will be
But
again connecting.
or how about we leave it up to this point because I think we covered a lot. If correct me if I'm wrong.
We covered a lot.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry,
What was the agenda for today? Like how far you wanted to go
okay.
today?
Sorry. I forgot to tell.
No. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm.
I used to tell it in the beginning of class. Sorry, I forgot it.
Okay.
Actually, my plan is to go up to 9:30. I
Okay.
plan for this variables, operators, and data types until list and the dictionary, DAR function.
Okay. So list I know and dictionary also I know. So
DAR
list is like
function.
array, and the dictionary is basically using the like a hash in Java. The way it has a key and value pair
Yes,
in dictionary.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Uh,
those two I know.
no,
But
actually,
anything in arrays, sorry, list that you want me to go, let's hear. Sorry,
yes,
you were mentioning. Go
DAR
ahead.
functions.
Okay.
How to
Here function.
append, extend, pop.
Yeah, append I know. Pop I know.
Okay,
Insert I know. Clearing the, I know.
okay,
But I know there are a bunch of which I don't know. So,
okay.
I know some basic ones.
For my satisfaction, I will just give a brush up.
Sure, please.
Yeah. Then otherwise, I felt like something which I am skipping or something I used to felt. That's why
Right. No worries.
I used to go little quick for these concepts. So
Okay.
we will just get us little brush up. So
Sure.
whatever you knew, we will go ahead little faster. Then we'll less the speed. So slicing is something which we will be just cutting out the part 0 to 4. That's nothing but from it will starts from 0 and always it excludes the last value. So 0, 1, 2, 3. When we are giving a 3, it always excludes the last value. So we will get 0, 1, 2. So now we will be giving 1, 3. It excludes the 3. So we will get 1 and 2. This is how our slicing will work. When I am just giving -1, it will start to count from the reverse direction. So when we are just having this D, this will be starts from -1, -2, -3, -4 like this. So now we'll get -1. So it will start to count from the reverse direction. Usually, we have a little shortcut way. What I used to do is yesterday I was handling one simple thing. One second, I'll be just showing it to you. Where I want to connect with my Google spreadsheet, and I want to retrieve that programs from the values from Google spreadsheet. So I was doing that. I wanted always the last element. So I was just doing the -1 slicing. See, the -1 slicing. So how it will work it out? Always the result one variable which holds the last element. So like in this kind of situations, we will going ahead with the reverse indexing will be very easier for us actually. Whenever I want to get the last appended value, we will go ahead with this -1. That's nothing but our reverse indexing. So it's actually an easiest way. That's it. Hussein, kindly give your email ID in a.
Sure.
Uh,
It's EMALE
one second. One second, please.
33.
AMALE.
No. It's E as an elephant, M
Possible to
as in
type
Mary.
and share?
Okay. 1 second. I'll let my
Yeah.
son type it.
Yeah.
Type it. Email 33@gmail.com.
Hello. Yeah, kindly share via this chat.
Yeah, there is a chat there.
Yeah. I just shared.
Do you know how to get to the chat on the screen?
There will be some options there. Do you got any pop-up notification, because I just send and chat with you?
Okay, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. I will just note it out. When our meeting got disconnected, I will be just sharing the link within 5 minutes to your email ID.
No worries.
Okay. So this is what our reverse indexing is. So everything which we'll just cover is an indexing and slicing. Then I hope you know about the basic of list data type. I will just give the quick overview of that also. Just what is the list? So in Python, we doesn't have an arrays. Instead of array only, we are having a list and a tuple. So that's nothing but list. That's nothing but a sequence of number or sequence of string or a combination of number and string, both. We can able to apply indexing and slicing in list also. And then we will be just going ahead with the tuple. Tuple is also nothing but a sequence of number or string or combination of number and string. This is also an array. So what's the difference between list and a tuple? That's nothing but list is something dynamic and it's mutable. That's nothing but we can able to update the values in list, but in tuple we can't able to update the values. That's what the difference between list and a tuple. Apart from, there is a difference in syntax. So list value is something which comes with square bracket, and a tuple value is something which used to comes with the normal bracket. So I'm just giving x is equal to 1 2 3 4 5, and even we can give a string also. So we give in a normal square bracket, so it's considered as a list. The same thing I will be giving the y, and I'm just giving in the normal bracket, so it's considered as a tuple. So now I want to update the 0th index of x. That's nothing but 1. I want to update this to 100. So now it got updated. The same thing which I am doing it for a tuple, we can't able to update. We will be getting a type error. So tuple object does not support item assignments. That's nothing but a type error. So this is what we want actually. The difference. So whenever you want something, you are feeling like, I won't be change this value, which will be considered as a tuple. Like if you want to be something dynamic, it's better to go ahead with the list. 95% when you are planning to retrieve some data from websites, or when you are planning to retrieve some data from uh, Google spreadsheet or database, all those stuff which will automatically comes as a list data type only. The tuple is something which will be comes when for example we are getting some values from pdf file, that will be comes as a tuple data type. So because mostly we doesn't have a lot of inbuilt functions to update pdf files, so we will be getting tuple in those kind of situations. So this is what our list and tuple is.
So is it fair to say like tuples are kind of like constant variables, sort of?
Yeah, we can say like that also.
Say
It's a
like that, right?
constant arrays. We can't tell that as a variable.